It is 3:15 a.m. on November 13th, 1974. A 23-year-old man, Ronald DeFeo Jr., more commonly known as Butch, wakes up and, rifle in hand, executes his entire family, his parents, 2 sisters, and 2 brothers. All died face down in bed, as if none had been awoken by the sound of gunfire, and none of them had been drugged. It was as if a supernatural force had somehow silenced the weapon and kept the 6 victims in a trance until their fate was sealed. DeFeo has said that he heard voices in the home telling him to murder his parents, brothers, and sister. He was given 6 life sentences. Today, he is still serving his time in a New York prison.
It was like a nightmare. I'm looking at my mother and father dead, my sister. I said, my God. I got scared. I ran out of the house, jumped in my car, ran down the street, got my friends, and came back to the house.
In the quiet town of Amityville, New York, stood a house with a dark history. 112 Ocean Avenue was the site of a gruesome mass murder, where Ronald DeFeo Jr. had killed 6 members of his family. Despite its tragic past, the house stood empty, until one day in 1975, when the Lutz family decided to make it their home. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, saw this house as an opportunity for a fresh start. Little did they know, their dream home would soon become a nightmare. As the days passed, the phenomena grew more intense. Strange noises echoed through the halls at night, foul odors wafted through the rooms, and George began waking up at 3:15 a.m. every night, the same time the DeFeo murders took place. Cold spots appeared out of nowhere, and the family's behavior began to change.
When you hear screams at night and you hear footsteps at night and the kids are saying strange things and the temperatures in the house vary and the spots that would appear in the carpet in the morning, the progression of certain toilets turning black, the china actually turning black. When you sit down and you start talking about those, then there's obviously something wrong.
They still don't
George
like to
became
talk
more
about it.
withdrawn, spending hours tending to the fireplace, and Kathy felt a dark presence looming over her. The children were not spared from the haunting either. Missy, the youngest, claimed to have befriended a ghostly girl named Jody, who appeared as a pig-like creature with red eyes. Desperate for help, the Lutz family turned to their local priest, Father Ray, but even he was not immune to the house's malevolent forces. During his visit, a disembodied voice commanded him to get out, sending him fleeing in fear. The hauntings escalated to the point where the family felt physically threatened. Objects moved on their own, doors slammed shut, and unseen hands grabbed at them in the darkness. They knew they had to leave, and so, after just 28 days, they abandoned their dream home, never to return. The story of the Amityville haunting spread like wildfire, captivating the nation's attention. To this day, the events that transpired in that house on Ocean Avenue remain a mystery, sparking debates about the supernatural and the nature of evil. Regardless of what you believe, one thing is certain: the story of the Amityville horror will continue to haunt our nightmares for years to come. After the Lutz family left, the house on Ocean Avenue remained vacant for a time. Many were curious about the stories of hauntings and the dark history of the house. Eventually, a new family moved in, hoping to start a new life. However, their experiences would soon mirror those of the Lutz family. Strange occurrences began to happen once again. The new occupants reported hearing voices, seeing strange apparitions, and feeling a malevolent presence in the house. It seemed that whatever had haunted the Lutz family had not left with them. Over the years, the story of the Amityville house continued to captivate the public imagination. Books were written, movies were made, and countless paranormal investigators visited the house in search of answers. To this day, the events that transpired in the house on Ocean Avenue remain a mystery. Skeptics argue that the hauntings were a hoax perpetrated by the Lutz family, while others believe that the house is truly haunted by a malevolent force. Regardless of the truth, the story of the Amityville horror serves as a chilling reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead, and the darkness that can reside in even the most ordinary of places. As night falls over the town of Amityville, the house on Ocean Avenue stands silent and foreboding, its windows like eyes watching from the darkness, a testament to the horrors that once unfolded within its walls. The legacy of the Amityville horror lives on, a cautionary tale of what can happen when darkness takes hold of a place, and the terrifying consequences that can follow. As we ponder the mysteries of that fateful house, we are reminded of the fragility of our world and the unseen forces that may lurk just beyond our understanding.